Good morning and welcome to the webinar How to Reach More People in Your Country with Campaigns for Escazu Agreement. My name is Annie Morillo and I am a specialist in communication at Law, Environmental and Natural Resources. This webinar is organized by Amnesty International, NAMATI, and Law, Environmental and Natural Resources, and is part of the action of the Regional Network of Civil Society to promote um, the sign and ratification of the Escazu Agreement. Before we start today's presentation, I want to share some logistical details. First, be aware that this event is being recorded and we will provide links to the full recording and a highlight later. I also want to make sure that everybody can hear well and is able to use our webinar system. You will see a question panel where you can type your comments and communicate with us. There is also a button to raise hands to get our attention. Please type your comments, ideas, or any suggestions in the question panel and as we move along. We want to hear from you, and at, at the end we open one space of questions and debate. Please be with us as response to your questions and comments. And thank you for listening. And it's time to Chris and Cesar to continue with the webinar. Hi, are you there?
Hi, hello, Cesar here from Amnesty. Good morning, everybody. Chris?
Good morning, we hear you perfectly, Cesar. Go ahead.
All right, so we have Mario Alvarado. Mario is the digital campaigner for the Americas in Amnesty International. He's a very experienced person on all things related to digital campaigning and the way that we can take advantage of all the tools that we have put together in order to advance the campaign for Escazu in the respective countries. Mario is going to run through his presentation, and right after that, you will have the chance to make some questions or try to get some insights from your perspective and from the kind of goals you will have related to this campaigning work that we have to do in the upcoming months. So without further ado, I let you with Mario.
Hi everyone, good morning, I'm Mario. And so I think we should start with the presentation. Okay. Just a second, sorry for that.
So if there is anybody there that is having any issue with the presentation, please just let us know through the system, right? And then we will try to see whether there is something that we can fix or not. Go ahead, Mario.
Thanks, Cesar. So, how to get your Escazu campaign to reach a lot of people in your country. This presentation, this webinar will be based on Facebook mainly, and we're gonna see how to use it. We're not gonna be desperate as this monkey, and at the end, hopefully, we can get all the skills to improve and take advantage for our Escazu campaign in each of our countries. So the first one, we're gonna see how to post on Facebook, the best practices. The second part, we're going to see the promotion on Facebook or the boost in Facebook. And finally, we're going to go through the creation of ads on Facebook so you can reach a lot of people with your campaign. So for starters, Facebook has almost like 2 million users in the whole world. It is the main social media network, is used by women mostly. And what is gonna be what you should post on Facebook? Short posts with large images and specific videos, because you have the difference when you post some YouTube videos on Facebook, Facebook will show to less people this video. So if you have the opportunity, please upload your videos and all your assets to Facebook, and it will give you like more visibility to your audiences. The frequency on using Facebook, you can post 1 or 2 times a day, or perhaps 3 times, and it's gonna work well. Facebook is a social network where you always can post the content and it's gonna live there. In comparison with Twitter, Twitter is more like a hot social network, and you can use it when you have like a special day or a special hook. So you don't have to worry about that on Facebook, and you can like program your content, and it's gonna be fine. So for best practices on using Facebook, please use a fan page. Give a like, because when the people give like to your fan page, it's easier and instantly will become your follow. In contrast, when you have like a personal profile, it's harder to reach more people, and it's hard also to like request the friendship. And so it's not good for this what we want to do with the Escazu campaign. Facebook is very visual and it has a lot of changes in the recent years. You have like bigger images, so you like use big images with good quality, use short posts with powerful like copies or attention, and stay relevant and consistent is also a tip. Post regularly and talk about current topics to keep interest of your fans and direct your traffic to your site. For instance, we're gonna use this new mode application or tool, and always you can redirect your traffic to these tools so people can take action. Make sure you always have a link in your post, images or videos, because this is so important. We don't want only that people knows about the campaign, but we want to people take action on our campaign. Talk to the fans. This takes a lot of time, but it's worth it. You can create a community and please like responding every message or direct comments that people do on your fan page. And you can also schedule publications so it won't be like quite heavy to maintain this social network. This is the structure of an ideal Facebook post. So we see there is a post from a fan page. We have a short and concrete content or copy. We have a call to action and a link. We have a visual focus with great images. You can use like a lot of resources from environment. I mean, Escazu has a lot of potential and has a lot of angles to work with. And you have another call to action at the end because it is from the link. So this is the perfect Facebook post. Maintain this structure, and you can also play with the narrative, with the copies. Don't make the copies too long. If the copy goes to more, view more, we're not doing anything because people probably won't click on view more and read like more text. And the main mantra of all your posts is gonna be take action. You have to always put a call to action on your post, on every single message, on every single picture, video, copy. Please make a call to action because that's what matters in this campaign. Now, what works well and not so well on our post on Facebook? What works well is including graphics in your post, pictures, photos, or designed pieces with call to action and the link for the action for Escazu or for the different tools we're gonna use through this campaign. So many people believe that if we mix a nice and super attractive copy with an amazing video, it's gonna perform well, but it doesn't. Usually you shouldn't combine text with videos because people tend to watch the video but not to click on the link, and they don't take action. And we're losing like the opportunity of conversion for this action. Now, we're gonna talk about the boost on Facebook, but first I just want to know if anyone has any question or any comment. Okay. So the boost on Facebook. The idea on when you're boosting on Facebook is that you create this like ideal post. We have this example from Amnesty International Americas. This is from a campaign called Amazonian Women, and we have a great copy. It's short, it has like 5 lines, it's perfect. We're using also emojis, you can use it, so it's really attractive for people. You can also put the link for, in this example, for the online action, it's a petition, and some hashtags related. You can or cannot use hashtags on Facebook. I mean, it's not quite important as in Twitter. Then we have this picture. It's really a different picture, really attractive. And then we have the call to action and the link, so protect the Amazon and the Amazonian women. So when you create a post, your first post, please let it run for a couple of days. Now you might be wondering why. This is important because it's going to run organically and we're going to know if this is a good post or this is a bad post, what is the performance of this post, and if it is worth it to put money or resources on boosting this post. The second step is to measure the organic performance of your post. So you can go to your fan page, go to statistics, publications, and through the statistics of your publication, you can see which posts are the best performing. You can see the organic reach, you can see how many clicks it has had. You can see the reactions, you can see the comments, and if there is a huge and substantial difference between one post or another, for example, this post, I remember it had like 4,000 people of reach and it has like 100 clicks or something like that. So it's a good post, like in taking into account the average of our posts in your account. That's what I was talking about. For example, here you can see different posts and you can see the reach, the interactions. And for example, this is a really, really good post in comparison with the others. It has 1,400 people. It has more interactions. So for example, this post is the one we should boost. And this you can see it in your statistic part of your account. And well, this is in Spanish because our account is in Spanish, but there's going to be like a boost post. So you can click that. And the next step, I mean, this is another example of another post. You can also do it in your main page on your feed. And for example, this had like almost 3,000 people of reach. It's a good post. And then it's simple. We have a short copy, we have a large image, and we have call to action. Then when you're starting to promote your post, it is quite important that on the objective, you put attract people to your website because we want to generate traffic. That's what we want to do with Escazu campaign. After that, you can make or build your audience. So, and this is the most important part, I think, of the whole webinar, is to build your audience, and it will take time. And please allow yourself to take time to think and to make some questions about your audiences. And we're going to see a couple of useful questions for that in short. So this is the statistics part of your fan page. You can see under statistics, people who are your audiences that are following your fan page. So this is not the audience you want to reach. This is the audience who follows you. We can see that we have like 55% of women, 44% of men. We can see the ages. So we can see that we have like a young audience in here. You can see the main countries and cities and languages from your fans. And this is really useful in case you have like different languages or For example, if you're in the Caribbean and you speak Spanish and also your audience speak French, this is going to help you to improve your targeting on your boost post. So your audiences. This is the main and key part of the whole webinar. For example, we can create audiences like people in your country who like the environment and human rights with all Escazu angles. So Escazu has like different angles. You have like the justice one, so you can create a copy like with the narrative of justice for climate defenders, or you can create a copy for more transparent information and information accessibility. The information about like private corporations and private projects affecting the environment. You know, you can play with all that. You can also set the age. For example, usually it works really well, but first you have to go to your statistics and check what is the age of your audience. But you can set, for example, like people from 18 to 30 years and like women, you know, so we can like create like posts more like emotional perhaps, or for those people that are more like data driven, we can like make some posts with data and you know with like statistics. And on interest you can also create like or include environment, climate change, justice, human rights, and you can also locate it like a GPS. So you can put a boost to run on like Bogota, Cali, Medellin, for instance. These are like Colombia cities, but you can use your own. And this is a screenshot of this audience settings. So you're gonna see that we have the gender. We can select all or men or women. We can select the age. We can select the cities, the countries. And for instance, here, this example has a potential reach of more than 140 like million people or 1,000 people, I think. So this is too broad, you know. So the ideal audience is to the ideal, like procedure is to take this on the green range. So it's gonna be like your ideal uh, audience. So now, who are they? This is really important question. Who are they? Who is this audience I want to reach? That are not my followers, that are not my fans on Facebook. So you can use these questions and create your like segmentation for your audience. Who are these people we want to reach? What do they like? So they like, for example, bikes. They like human rights. They like social justice, environment, climate crisis. What are they worried about? You know, so it's like I don't know, like social justice or like contamination or pollution or mining, or you know, you can have a lot of options in here. What's hurting them? What do they read, listen, see? They see CNN International. So you can also like ask yourself which is the main broadcast news in your country, which is the main like newspaper, or does people use Uber to for transport, or do they use like bikes? Are they vegan? Are they vegetarian? Or are like do they eat like meat? Uh, you know, you have a lot of options in here. So, but there is an important part in this is that Facebook has more options on English than in Spanish, but also you can use these options. So for instance, if we want to create a profile for an audience that is like vegetarian and and is interested on bikes and on climate crisis and climate change, you're probably we're gonna find these terms in English, but also work for Spanish. And here we can see that our audience is defined. So we have 42 million persons of potential reach, but it's defined. So the important part is like, don't go to the red, don't go to the yellow, keep on the green. Now, about the duration and the budget you can use on your boost. The duration, you can set it. You can set 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, 1 month. You can also set the end date of your boosting. Usually you can like put like for start, you can test like 1 week, with $50, for example. And you can say in here like how much money do you want to put on your boost, and Facebook will calculate the average reach with this budget and with this length of time. So in here, in this example, we have like from 3,000 people to 8,000 people per day. And we will spending like $5 a day. And this boost will run until the 10th of August 2019. After that, you have built, so far we have the copy, we have the image, we have the call to action, we have seen how to create an audience, we also how to put money on this boost. So you can check all these like little details, and oh, sorry for that. And we can see here like there's $50. So it's gonna run until August 10. We're gonna spend $5 per day. We're gonna reach this amount of people. And after that, you can just like promote or boost in English. And that's the boosting on Facebook. The boost on Facebook is the one of the easiest part to do. You can do it without any special accounts. You just only need to have a fan page, and that's going to be fine, and that's going to work really well. So you can create different posts and try. For example, you can create one post, leave it to run like organically 3 days approximately, and then you can see on the statistics the performance of it and decide where you're gonna put your money. And that's it. So if anyone have any questions so far, please.
No, we will wait up to the end
Okay.
in order to have a little bit more of a kind of order in the system.
Okay.
If you need a break, I can take
I
a
will
note or
let you
something.
know. I will let you know. I have my cup of tea, so everything in the world is good. So the third part of this webinar is the creation of ads on Facebook. So this is more complicated. It's not hard. I have the experience of a 50-year-old woman that started her own business, and she actually made it up from watching tutorials on YouTube, and she is doing really good. So don't worry about it. So why do we want to use Facebook ads? So Facebook, it's a world available to anyone. We have like 20 or 30% of the population of the world on Facebook. Everyone uses it. You can also like hyper segmented advertising. So as we saw previously, you can like create these personas and target them. So it's really, really useful. And also this kind of technology allows us to focus on goal fulfillment strategy. So you can start like thinking on what are going to be your KPIs, what are your goals, and then we can think, you can think on how to use Facebook ads to reach those goals and fulfill your KPIs. As I told you, there are nearly 2 billion people active on Facebook. This is a lot of people. It provides detailed information about target audience. It can be started with relative low budget. You can like use like from $50 to $100 on one test. And you can also optimize the results of your advertising efforts. So let's read and start with Facebook ads. The first thing you're gonna need is to have a fan page, as I told you before in the first part of this webinar, to use Facebook ads. And then when you have a fan page, you will need to create an ad account. You can use this link from the presentation, and we can also email to you at the end or after the webinar the useful links. With this link, you're going to create your Facebook Ads Manager account, and here's where the magic happens. When you click the link, you're going to see this screenshot on your screen. It will give you an ID from your account. You can like name your account if, for example, I don't know, Amazon Watch. So I will like call the account Amazon Watch Americas, for instance. You can set the time zone, and this is really, really important because if you don't set the time zone, you won't be able to reach your audience in your country in the usual times that they watch Facebook, check Facebook, or for instance, if you know that there is a, for example, tomorrow is going to be the International Day of Indigenous People. You know that people in, for example, Chile wake up at 7 a.m. and they get into their jobs at 8 a.m., but they check their social media at 12 or 1 p.m. when they have the lunchtime, and then they will check that before they leave their jobs or the office at 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. So these are like, this is really important to set like the correct time zone. You can also set the currency you're gonna use to pay the ads. In this example, we have pounds, and after that, publicity put it like yes, you are gonna use this account to create ads for commercial objectives. After that, you're gonna select the country. You don't have actually to put your ID on the second part, but at this, please just clarify that you're not a publicity agent, because that will affect also your results. And then you can like save your changes in this part of the ads configuration account. So payment settings, you're gonna find that also when you're creating your account. You will have to include a credit card. The different payment methods depends on the country. For example, here in Mexico, we only have available credit cards. But for instance, in the US, you can use like PayPal or credit cards or debit cards, or in some other countries, you can use like specific payment gateways, but it depends. And next to that, this is the, sorry, I'm just gonna fix something. So this is the screen of your Facebook Ads Manager account. You're gonna find it, and I will explain more in detail. But I want to check the different options you will have, and we're gonna focus on traffic. We have like different parts of ads. We can like make a brand awareness. We can improve the reach. We can like on the consideration part, we can create more traffic to our website, more interactions, apps download, video reproductions, lead generation, messages, and then we have conversion. But this is like more specific when you have like a physical store. For example, you sell like coffee or something. So this is like more specific for them, but we're gonna focus on traffic. So when you are on your Facebook normal account, you're gonna see a menu on your left side, and you will find a ad administrator. In this case, well, in this example is in Spanish, but you will see it below the movies, below like, you know, like the whole menu you have on your left when you get into your account on Facebook. And then you're gonna have this screen where you're gonna select, oh, sorry. the pixel, because we have to create a pixel from Facebook so you can use ads and you can like measure your results. So after you click on pixel, on create pixel, you will have to name the pixel, for example, Amnesty International Americas, or your organization name. Then the installation of the pixel depends on the platform on which your website is located, for example, WordPress or others. The pixel will generate your account ID and number, and then you can select on the pixel options, connect to a platform, and you will have here the matching between the pixel of Facebook and all your platform or your hosting website. It will give you a lot of options. You can see here, like for example, we have Joomla, HubSpot, BigCommerce, and you have a couple of more. So this is like an automated installation of the pixel, and it should be easy. If not, you can reach us and we can see how to work with you. And after you install the pixel, you can check with this link that also will be available after the webinar. And you can check on this with this app from Chrome. You have to be on Google Chrome to check this. So it's an extension, you will download it and you can check if the pixel is well installed, or you can properly installed, or if you have to make some changes to that. Now, the fourth part of creating an ad, it's the campaign structure type. So as we saw on the campaign manager page, you can create a campaign and you can create also a set of ads. And after that, they're like ads. This is like your family tree. So keep it in mind. First, you can define your objective or conversion. For example, we want to create traffic. After that, the creation of the segmentation and the configuration, you can create your audiences, you can create the profiles, the personas, and then finally there is the ad that is the final product that the average user will see on their own Facebook pages. So we're going back to the ads administrator panel. And remember that we were on pixels. So after we create the pixel, install the pixel, check that the pixel it's okay with our hosting page, we go to the administrator of ads. It will be under create and under like create and manage, I think. So this is the screen that you will see after clicking on ads. You will see here the green button of create an ad. So you can click on that. And you can see also which campaigns are running, the set of ads you have, and the ads like individually. Oh, sorry, I just go too fast on this. So the second screen that will appear after you click on create is this. And we have seen this before. We're gonna click on traffic. On this part, we're gonna be sure that we're on campaign objective traffic. And we're gonna name that campaign. For instance, here I call it Escazu Part 2. After that, you will set the country, the currency, and your time zone. You will click to continue. And when you create the campaign, here you can see like this button on blue. You can activate the campaign or deactivate the campaign when you want. And also you can see here, you will see here the ad set. And in here you will create all the ads you want. And here we can, the next screen you will see is this. When we start to set our audiences, we're gonna set the start date and the closing date for the ad. we're gonna set the audience, and that was the persona. Who are they? What are their interests? What are their interests? What bothers them? What gives them hope? Where like their consuming behaviors. Also, you can use it like people that buys in, I don't know, like Walmart or Target or something. And you can also like set a lot of things in here. You will have the option to expand the interest, and please leave it blank, because the expand interest is not a good like practice on ads creation on Facebook. And after that, you can set the location of your ad. So you have two options, automatic or selected. What does this mean? You can select the automatic location of the ad, and this is not about like geolocation or anything. I think I have a question or something.
Oh, don't worry, we will visit that at the end.
Okay. Sorry. I was telling you that you can select the location, and this will be the location of your ad on the Facebook profiles of people. So you can select to put your ad on the news feed from people, or you can put it on the right side when there are like usually like commercial ads, or you can like define that. I recommend that you leave it in automatic for now, because you're starting to create ads, so it's not that important. But if you want to go beyond that, you can also like say like, okay, this week I'm gonna try like to post ads on the news feed of people. Next week I'm gonna try the ads on the right bar of ads of commercial ads on Facebook. And also you can select the devices where your ads are going to be shown. You can select desktop or mobile, and you can also dig into this on your statistic part, or you can use like Google Analytics, like tools to see if the people goes to your website more from desktop devices or from mobile. And I mean, using this, you can improve the performance and the fulfillment of your objective. So the next part is the actual creation of the ad. The structure of the ad, it's really simple. You will have first a great picture with really good quality or a nice video. People tend to react really well to videos that are like kind of film videos or like teaser from movies, like they're really well done and it has like really good quality and has a great like storytelling. But you can use also like great pictures or pictures that actually like communicate something. This is one post we did on Hetamini's campaign. And then the second part is the seduction or the text to engage, make the people or make the persons fall in love, and so they can take action, so they can take the action we want. So we have like again 1, 2, 3, 5 lines of a short copy. We don't have the option of see more because probably we'll lose people. And we have the link, the call to action. Here is the call to action is please add your name to our petition and share this as widely as possible. So we want to create more traffic, and the main objective is to gather as many signatures we can. Some tips of when you're writing the propositions. This comes from our best practices on Amnesty. So first, think about your main audience goal. This should guide to the tone and style of your proposal. You can also like visit Facebook blueprints for more details or more examples on this. The second one, keep your writing style simple and clear. I know that Escazu campaign and a lot of issues and topics we work on has a really technical language, and but not all the people understand that. So if you're gonna talk about the deforestation percentage or the conversion percentage of the ozone or the oxygen in the Amazonian forest, please don't do it. Like talk in a simpler way, like, you know, like this is the air we breathe, and if they like deforest the Amazons, where we won't have the same quality of air, or, you know, like I like to put this exercise, and imagine you are telling this to your grandma or to or to a 7-year-old child. So that's the kind of writing style we need to keep and use on this. Our tone on Facebook should be pretty casual, so try to avoid, like I told you, like complex word or technical words. Try to make short text, maximum 50 words. Remember that people scroll through Facebook very quickly, and people usually don't read like a lot. So you have one shot, and in average, the window of attention of one person is 30 seconds. So like you can try like writing your copy and like make that someone else read it, and on 30 seconds, and it's like you can test if it was appealing, it was interesting, or it wasn't. You don't have to include everything on your advertising test. So you have like different cards on Facebook ads. And the first card is going to show like the more interesting and like attractive or hooking, you know, like the most interesting part of the campaign. And after that, you can also use like the context cards. And the context card is another card that will be shown on Facebook ads, and you can like give more information about it and give more context about what's happening with Escazu. If your country signed Escazu or it already signed it and you are like seeking the ratification of the agreement, you can use that card. So, you know, like hold your horses and be really wise with the space and your copy. Make sure your call to action is clear. So think about what you're asking to users to do. You're asking them to sign the petition, to tweet a decision maker, to send a letter, to share some content, you know, so be really clear. And it's like here, you know, like sign here with fingers, or like share here, or share with 5 friends, like really, really specific. When possible, try some different propositions. It is to think that your ad isn't working well and you're starting to use ads, so don't worry about it. But always test, you know, so create your ad, test it, give it some time, then you can evaluate the results, the performance, and then you can rethink and redesign that based on your first ad to improve the second one, and so on. So this is like a innovation cycle, and you can use it also on Facebook ads. And adjust your proposals around what people are saying online. For example, if we have like this, I don't know, imagine that next week. Yeah.
Please, people, mute yourself in order to have a powerful presentation being finished. Go on, Mario.
So adjust your proposals around what people are saying online. Imagine next week we're gonna have, I don't know, like climate action week. So you can like think before that week, you can think ahead on what propositions you can try, on what ads you can try next week. And usually it works really well to use these hooks or special dates. So you can track them also like on a calendar with your partners or in your country, and see what are going to be the milestones from here to, I don't know, December, January, or February. And you can also create like strategies or actions, specific actions around those, and it will help you a lot. So that's not it. Yes, sorry about that. And lastly, here you will find some resources, because when you're going to create ads or you're going to create like boost that seeks really high impact, you can use, for example, this tool called canva.com. And with Canva, you can create easily images or like graphic design pieces. It's easy, it's fast, and it's free, as we like it. And you can also take free photos from pixels or different like photo banks or how's that called? I think, yeah, like photo resources to create your ads, and you will have a lot of fun. Just like test, try, like let also allow yourself to fail, to learn, and to improve. This is like Facebook is all about testing and having experiences, and also you can like document that and systematize that so you can create some business intelligence for your next Facebook ads, or have like a good document on best practices and insights you have had using Facebook. And
Now,
now
yes.
that's it.
Many thanks, Mario. As you were moving along in your presentation, there was one question made by Ramesh Babu Vishwanatula. He was interested to understand a little bit more about the boost feature that you say that there was on the fan pages on Facebook, and he wanted to know whether that's only working for fan pages or it's also working for individual accounts.
No, it doesn't work with individual accounts. That's why you have to create a fan page, because that's the kind of account that will allow you to use. Oh, sorry about boosting.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you can boost.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Good news.
Yeah, you can. I think you can boost, but it's better if you have a fan page, because it will be you will have better chances of your fan page than sending you like invitations. So yeah, I think that the best practice is to have a fan page, and if you don't have, just start it. You know, it's like go for it. It's not hard. It's not hard, and you can also like start creating content, and you can also like get in touch with alike groups or individuals or influencers. You know, you can reach a lot of people in there. But yeah, please create a fan page for that.
And there is a question from Sasha Harinahan. Sorry, Harinahan. She's asking about page created for organizations if they can use same tactics as the fan pages in order to make some ads and to promote them on Facebook.
Yes, you can. When you're going to where you're creating the fan page, you will have, for example, different options. It will say like, are you a brand or an enterprise or a corporation or an organization, or do you want to create your fan page for personal branding or to create a community? In all those Facebook pages options, you can use the same tools.
Yes. All right. And can you clarify a little bit for us whether if there is an organization that is not having a fan page, but they do have a profile within Facebook, is it easy to kind of, make a transition into that, like using the same things that you have on your personal profile or your organizational profile, and then make of that a quick and dirty fan page?
Yes, you can. And you can create your fan page and go to your personal account. You can download an extension for Google Chrome that I think it's Facebook fan page, or you can search it on Google, or I can send it also in the email after the webinar. And this extension will allow you to invite all your contacts and friends to like your new fan page. So you can, I mean, you won't start from nothing, you know. And also you can ask your friends or your colleagues from your organization to populate your fan page. And it's not that hard. There's a lot of tools like this that will make your life easier.
Yes. And so we will make sure that you add those kind of tips into the email and things that we send afterwards. There is a question from Milton Coy from Grenada. It would be very, very nice if you post your questions and say where are you coming from. So in that sense, we kind of better imagine from where and which perspective you are making the questions. So Milton is eager to know what will be the most effective social media for promotion.
Well, Milton, it depends. For example, Facebook boost and Facebook ads has a better price for conversion and for using this kind of tools. You can also create like Twitter ads, but Twitter ads are more expensive. So it depends if you are thinking like cost-effective tools. The best social media to do this is Facebook. And if you're wondering on Instagram, also you can like synchronize your Facebook campaigns with Instagram, so they will be shown on that social network too. But Instagram also like have different kind of audiences. It's younger. It's like more informal. They want like more visual content. They also really appreciate like not that produce content. They love like organic content, like authentic content. So it's like each channel has its differences, but I recommend to use Facebook when you are doing this.
And I believe I got it a little bit wrong. The question, he said the most effective social media promotion.
The most effective social media promotion.
Yeah, exactly. What will be kind of the best way to do promotion into any social media that you decide on?
Okay, so if this is your question, the best way you can do promotion on your social media, it's to create editorial calendar and keep constant to be sure that you have like enough and constant content on your channels. And you can also see based on that which are the best performing, and you can decide by the performing, not the channel, on where do you want to put your money or and your efforts.
All right. I have another question from Sasha. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. And she's asking, she's saying that she works with the organization website, and she's asking whether or not um, they can promote the website without having a fan page, like, paying for ads or these kind of things.
No, you probably can't. You will have to have a fan page. If you're interested on promoting your website, probably the best option is to have Google Ads and SEO positioning on Google. But if you're thinking to promote your website on Facebook, you will have to create a fan page to do so.
Hi, just jump in there. This is Chris from Amnesty. I think the question there was about that they have an organization page on Facebook, whereas you were talking about fan pages for a campaign, and whether there's a difference between an organization page on Facebook and a fan page on Facebook, and if you can do advertising campaigns on both of them.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Chris. If that's your question, yeah, you can absolutely do it. There are like a few differences, but if you have an organization page on Facebook, it's even better, because I think if you have had this page for a while, you will have like more audience and constituency gathering that, and it will perform better.
All right. I just noticed that, yes, people, if you raise your hand, you can talk. I don't have to repeat the questions. We only need to unmute you all. So if you raise your hand, please go ahead and shut the questions. I'm not seeing any more questions of people raising their hands. So let me check around here. So remember, we need a home page. All right. Okay. So that's the question is being addressed, I believe. Mario, how many times do people have to invest in order to have a proper, management of their content and to promote their websites, their fan pages, or whatever? In terms of time. We have very different bunch of organizations working on Escazu. Probably some are not having a communications person or a digital person in charge of this whole thing. So if you can kind of provide some examples on how long it will take to make some promotions for the campaigning tools, how long that will be.
So if you're starting from scratch, start now. Open your fan page today, and also use like other parts content. If, for example, I love Pictoline and the infographics of Pictoline, and you can like spend around like 2 to 3 hours per day, like starting your fan page and creating relevant content. And once you have done that, it's gonna be faster, it's gonna be easier, and it will take you less time because you're gonna be more experienced on that. But just take the take the jump of faith and go ahead and create your fan page.
How do best practice on Facebook differs from best practice on Twitter or Instagram?
Okay. So the best practice of Facebook differs from Twitter, since Twitter is more like a dynamic social channel, and it's constantly moving. And for example, on Twitter, you always have to use hashtags on your tweets because that's what it's about, Twitter. And you can also be like more on it on special days, especially for example, if we're thinking on the Escazu campaign, and let's say that at the end of this month, the Congress of Trinidad and Tobago will decide if they sign or ratify the agreement, like that day, it's for Twitter, it's not for Facebook, because all the conversation is going to be on Twitter. It's more dynamic, everything that is going on like daily on more real based time is there, and you will probably tweeting your congressman or decision makers so they can like sign or ratify the agreement. While in Facebook, you can like put content and create conversations, but is like more slowly and is more like freezed on time content. And Instagram, it's kind of more between Facebook and Twitter, because Instagram always has like content, regular content. We also use the hashtags when we have like the publication and in our uh, feed, and in our stories, for example, you can use the Instagram stories more for engagement, to show what you or your organization is doing on this campaign or another campaign, and like more real content, and less like curated, less worked. Like for example, if you have like a great video, just put it on Facebook. But if you have this great video, you can also put it on Instagram. But for example, if you have like your constituency videos and send videos to you, just like publish them. Like people love to see people, love to see real people doing things. And yeah, so they are like the main difference between those channels.
Yeah, and there is a big, there is kind of a big push of using messaging apps.
Yeah.
Rather than using this kind of social media more in a classical way. How can we make use or advantage of dynamic messaging apps used in certain countries?
Well, that's a good question. And for instance, WhatsApp is really huge on Latin America. And you can also integrate WhatsApp to your like editorial calendar and strategy. You can create, well, WhatsApp is really one of a kind. You can create groups or broadcast lists. So if you create a broadcast list on WhatsApp, for instance, you can send content and you can like create a copy with a good picture and like take action for Escazu here, and you can send that. You won't have like many interactions because it's kind of like a emailing list, basically. But if you want, or you are on several WhatsApp groups, you can also implant your content on those groups, and you can like adapt your copies or your posts from Facebook to WhatsApp and send them to those groups. and you can also create debate. You can also it will generate more ideas for you. Perhaps people will talk about an angle that you didn't see in the time, and you can work it on. And yeah, so it's not is one thing doesn't take the other out. And the same with Signal, the same with Telegram. I have several groups on Telegram, in Signal, and in WhatsApp. My phone is crazy. But yeah, use all your contacts. And also, when you're using these kind of apps, you can create a contact map, for example, and start with your friends and your family. And then you can ask them to share this content on another groups. So this is the idea is to go viral. And as for example, the family chains we got on WhatsApp on, I don't know, New Year's Eve, it's that's the sense, and you can do that.
Is there any difference in the kind of content that you might use, or you will say that you just, as you mentioned, that you just can what's the word? You just kind of implant the same content from Facebook or Twitter into WhatsApp?
No, you have to adapt the content from Facebook or Twitter or Instagram to these, for example, messaging apps, because so if you see your phone, you will. This is a smaller screen, so you can create shorter copies. You can also use GIFs. This is amazing on that. You can also create GIFs around your campaign and share them, and also put the link. I mean, this is the main mantra of call to action, and the link so people can take action is in every channel, on every social network. I mean, it's everywhere. You can make a tattoo on with that.
All right. So we make sure that we put some notes around it, because this might be of interest for some colleagues. There are a couple more questions here. Everybody, please feel free to post your questions. I think that we have sorted out the thing that you just can jump in and make your questions by yourselves. But if not, we are keeping on reading them through here. There is a question here saying that you mentioned that your objective should be to get people to take action, of course, for Escazu. That's why we are all here. What sort of actions can or should we ask the people to take? And what can we do if we don't have a concrete action for people to take?
Okay. So you can always ask people to take action. For instance, depending on the set of tools you will have with a new mode, or with your local digital environment. For example, if you have a petition online, you can ask people to sign that petition, and you can also create a broad journey. So it's I have this campaign, I'm gonna start this petition, so I will ask people to join that or to sign that. And as a second step, I will ask people to share that with their friends, with their families. And in the third step, I will ask them to tweet, I don't know, your congressman or your president, or I don't know, your decision maker. And after that is okay, we have tweet the decision maker. So now let's make a phone bombing. So everyone calls this number and leave this message for, I don't know, the congressman XYZ, telling that you want to sign or ratify the Escazu Agreement. And you can create a whole journey of different actions in time that will allow you to keep the pressure constant and sustain in time. So it's not going to be one action and that's it. And if you don't have any specific action, you can create content and publish content about more educational and informative. Or you can also create debates. For example, I know that in Guatemala, the forests are in a specific model of protection, with local people. So it's like, do you think that in, I don't know, Trinidad and Tobago should like follow the Guatemala model that like guarantee the protection of the forest, you know, so like people also can like make their comments and create like broader conversations, or you can simply ask them to share the action or the main action you have, you know, if you have the petition or you have like a link where you're gathering people, so you can like create this critical mass for an action that you're thinking on. So it's like sign here or be volunteer or participate in the Escazu campaign by joining this campaign or this organization or this movement. So there are like different calls, and you always can think on one more, like I don't know, WhatsApp your decision maker or the president, you know. And the important part is like you always lead people to take action.
Yeah. It's a questions on how to take advantage of certain things, tools like history on Facebook and on or on other channels. I might imagine Instagram as well. How do we take advantage of those kind of little tools around some social media channels?
So when you're thinking on that, the important part in here is volume. For example, if you're thinking on using Facebook stories, or for example, we had it this year in Argentina around the one campaign, a really awful like episode, and this decision maker went out in Instagram, and and then we like use his story on Instagram to make pressure and create like a social pressure from different people using the hashtag that he was using, or like recording, like asking people to record a story, sending a message to him and tagging him on the story. So you can take advantage of that. But think always that it's about volume, and you will have to have a lot of people and to create like a really group community, a really group or community to take action. So this person or this target feels like the action.
Mm-hmm. There is another question from my sister in Trinidad and Tobago, Sasha. She's very active. That's what I love. Um, she's asking whether if you have a specific samples of Escazu call to action for this campaign. I guess that this is something that we have shared a little bit with the guidelines for using the digital action tools. Of course, I believe that what we can do is that right after that we set up the pages, probably we can have a round of best practices that we see around the use of social media, and then share it with the whole community in order to kind of, have this community of practice for the campaign. All I can say, Mario wasn't here last year when we ran the first phase of the campaign, but the video content and the very specific call to actions, which is something that Mario has been repeatedly saying today, is the most important thing. You really need to be clear about what are you asking and why it's important for people to engage. And last year we were having this idea of, let's make history. In this time we are calling for people to, for authorities to recon that we need Escazú now. And that's kind of, I believe, kind of the main tagline, the main inspiration that we have to take from onwards.
Yeah,
and she's asking also for specific hashtags or things like that.
in the same way that what Cesar was saying, you can also test different contents and messaging. For example, you can like have one picture comparing a really amazing forest with a desert and nice copy, but also lately in these recent years we have seen that people respond better to a more like positive and proactive approaches than saying like, oh, we all are going to die because of the climate change. You know, it's like, okay, there's a problem, but here's the solution. You know, it's like one of my mantras is like, problems yes, but with solutions. So it's like, yeah, the world is messed up, but here's Escazu, and Escazu is one of the solutions. And the other
Hashtags.
the hashtags.
We are
Okay.
proposing Escazu now for English. It's going to be Escazu ahora in Spanish, Escazu maintenant in French, and Escazu agora in Portuguese. But probably Sachi is asking whether we can combine that with other in order to better track the impact of the campaign and to see how many people are kind of following us. The main question here is, to me, is that deliberately we have chosen to go for local national campaigning work because the status of the signature ratification of Escazú is different. But there might be a way to connect all campaigns from everybody by using other hashtags than Escazú now, or there might be another best practice to kind of combine the things. How would you take on that?
So if you're using hashtags, I think you're talking about Twitter. Please don't use more than 2 hashtags. Like 3 hashtags is too much, and like 4 is like no way. And you can use like, for example, the main hashtag of the campaign, like
Escazú
Escaso
now.
now, and also you can combine it, like making an exercise with. There are like also free tools for this, like Twitter listening, or and you can collect, for example, 10 hashtags that you want to compare, and you can find these apps. I can include that also in the email, and it will allow to see which hashtag has like more reach, more impressions, and you can like use that also because you can use like Escazua now, and for example, I don't know, save the Amazon, that is a trending hashtag today. Just like imagine that, and that will allow you to go on the wave of Amazon now or protect the Amazon or the trending hashtag at the day or at the time, and implant or insert yourself in this conversation and in this like huge topic conversation. Of course, it has to be related. I mean, it's like sometimes it's like Happy Tuesday and it's like Escaso now, Happy Tuesday. Okay. You can also create like some kind of narrative to use that, but there will be like some hashtags you can definitely not use.
Right. When we are going to have the COP25, then we need to use the COP25
Exactly.
and the Escazú now
Exactly.
and not anything else because you are definitely against more than 2 hashtags.
Yeah, more than 2 hashtags is too much, but that's a good example. For example, in Chile, or when we have like COP25, use it is like Escazú and COP25, and repeat. It's like the best practice of the president is like they always repeat the same message. So it's like Escazú now, Escazú now, Escazú now.
Okay, cool. There is a question here about how can we kind of get the attention of lots of people and action from lots of people without paying for ads.
Okay.
How can we reach and to get action from a lot of people without paying for free?
Okay. So a good option is to use like the messaging apps and the groups you have. Your contacts, if you have like a emailing list, you can also use it and create like the action and spread through like your organic networks, so you don't have to pay. But just like take into account that if you're gonna do this, it's gonna be harder, and you have to start with like what I call like the engagement path. So I mean, for example, if who's asking this?
It's a random question.
Okay. So if I know Cesar like just today, and I cannot ask him, like, oh Cesar, I have a flight tomorrow at 2:30 a.m. in the morning. Can you take me to the airport and like also, give me some cash? It's like no way, no way, Jose. So it's like the first is like, okay, like this content, share this content, join the campaign, sign the petition or take one action, create your own content, and you have to take them and lead them step by step until they can be so engaged that they will participate in these actions. And in this way, you will create a stronger community, and is probably sometimes is is more valuable than just like paying for ads, but it takes a lot of time. So you have to see also the resources that you have and what you can do that with those resources. And you can also like think on what other objectives you want to reach and what do you have to do to get the resources you are lack. And yeah.
Yeah. And many thanks to everybody who have done questions, to Ramesh, to Milton, to Sasha, and Annie, and others. I still have one question, and I think that we have a little time to go through it. There is a question about, getting back to the slides or on effective post examples, and to highlight the elements on why they are effective.
Yeah,
So if we
sure.
can go back to it and have that covered.
So here's the post for Facebook. So why is this effective? First, because from fan page it's easier to reach more people and to have like more followers through a simple like. The second, the short content or the copy on your post or your ad, that's the heart of it. It's like if you create like an amazing 5 lines copy engaging people, and that's the opportunity, that's the space of the opportunity that you have to convince people or to attract attention. Here you can also have or practice or make this exercise. You can buy one like tabloid and see the structure of their copies or their highlights. It's like fire destroyed 5 buildings in San Francisco. I don't know. And so it's like you can like also start thinking on like on an editorial way and create these copies that are like subject, like action, like and context, and that will allow you to take the attention from other people, and that's super key. The third part is the image, and also we all know that like an image worth 1,000 words. And so if you have a great image, if you're talking about Escazu and climate defender, for example, if you have a picture from Greta Thunberg, so that will have like amazing, and that will communicate your message and will attract also attentions from people's attention, sorry. And always in the structure, the call to action is quite important, because if we don't have like a call to action, or we're not offering an action so people can take, we're only just posting like content without any objective. And this post is basically communicating with objective, and the objective is to sign to support the Escazu campaign by signing the agreement or ratifying the agreement. But that's what it works. If you can post like one copy with only a copy, but there's lacking the part of visual. And for example, if you show people's faces and on your copy tells stories, people will feel more related to your cause or your campaign than just like putting the copy, because they are seeing the face and they're seeing what's happening with this cause. That's why like this structure, it's so effective.
Okay, many thanks. And I believe that, this rule of the 20% of text is
Thank
important.
you so much, because I was forgetting that. Oh, that's a super important rule that Facebook have, and is when you're using images uh, on your post, whether you want to boost it or whether you want to create an ad, don't include more than 20% of the size of the image of text. And just let me, well, we can use this, I think. So if this is the picture, don't fill it with all text, because Facebook will punish you for that, and you won't be able of boosting with good results or making ads with good results. So just like if this is the 100% of the area of the picture, you can only use 20% for text. And you always have to think about and be wise with the text that is going to be on that 20%.
Which is very important. There is another question from Alexander Pavlov. He's asking, he or she is asking, Alexander, I believe it's a he, is asking about if there is any campaign or organization in Ontario, Canada. Alexander, you might know that Escazu is a regional agreement for Latin America and the Caribbean. So the main focus for our campaign is on that specific part of the region, whatever that is located between Mexico and the Patagonia. Not all countries in that area fall into the reach of the Escazu Agreement. But what I can take from your question is whether or not there might be some sort of a solidarity actions running in other countries that might have an impact in a specific third country. For instance, if you have a strong community of Caribbean people in Canada, why can't we, make actions in there for pushing the authorities in certain Caribbean countries to ratify Escazu very quickly? This is something that we have been thinking about in Amnesty, but so far our main strategy is related to the action that can be taken in the countries where Escazu need to be signed or ratified quickly. And I guess that this is a very, very good connection that we can have to start closing this webinar. And I would like to pass the word to Chris, who might have some words about the strategy and why are we picking up this approach of locating the actions nationally, and how are we gonna to take from that in the upcoming weeks. Many thanks again to everybody who have made questions and to took the time to be on this webinar. And I pass it on to you, Chris. Go on.
Great, thank you very much, Sad, and thank you very much, Mario, as well, for your really interesting presentation. We really hope this has been useful for everyone who's participating. We'll also make available a recording of this presentation after the webinar so that you can go through, and we'll also share the slides with you as well. If there are additional topics that you'd be interested in learning about related to digital campaigning or promoting your campaigns in Escazu then as well, please get in touch. And if there's a popular demand, then we can certainly of doing some additional trainings. Just like to talk a little bit about following up from Sasha's question about example, what actions we can ask people to take in our countries. So last year we focused mainly on a campaign at the regional level. So we had a single petition that was directed to all of the governments across all of Latin America and the Caribbean, asking them to sign the Escazu Agreement as soon as it was open for signature on the 27th of September last year. So last year we had a single action for the whole region, which we were asking people based in countries all across Latin America and the Caribbean to sign this petition and call upon their authorities to sign Escazu. As Cesar mentioned, this year the situation is slightly different. Now we have 17 countries who have already signed the agreement, and we have 3 countries who have ratified the agreement. So, and the countries that have signed the agreement, some have made quite a lot of progress towards ratification, whereas others haven't really started the progress yet at all. So the reason why we wanted to do this webinar was because the situation is different in different countries. We want to be able to promote more tailored actions in countries across the regions, depending on specific state of the signature or ratification process in their countries. So, for example, if in Chile, we're helping organizations to demand that the Chilean government sign the agreement because they still haven't signed it. Whereas for example, in Trinidad and Tobago, the strategy would be to make sure that the government ratifies it as they have already signed. So with this, there are multiple ways you could go about doing this. We at Amnesty believe that if we want to pressure a government to do something, it's much better to get the citizens of that country to then call upon their authorities. That's why we use petitions a lot. So one option could be to use a petition for your own country. For example, change.org. You could create a free petition there and ask people to sign that. However, what we're also offering this year, and if there are any organizations out there that are listening to this webinar today or listening to the recording of the webinar, we're also working on what's called targeted engagement strategies in countries across the region as well, using a platform called New Mode. And this is slightly different to petitions. So with petitions, someone signs the petition and then you collect the signatures and then you hand in the petition. With targeted engagement, people directly contact their authorities, the decision makers, and ask them to do something. So in this case, ask them to sign or ratify the Escazu Agreement. So they can do this, for example, by sending an email, by tweeting at their decision makers, by calling their decision makers, or by sending a fax to decision makers. And these are all things that we could offer through the digital platform that we're working with this year. So if there are any other organizations out there from countries in Latin America or the Caribbean that would be interested in working on this strategy and designing tailored actions for their own countries in order to get their governments to sign or ratify the agreement, then do get in touch. We'll make sure we pass you our contact details at the end of this webinar. And then the idea with this webinar that Mario presented is that if you do launch a petition or you launch tools asking people to take action, then they're only as effective as the number of people that actually use them to take action. So then the idea of practice what Mario has presented in this webinar today to ensure that the people possible in your countries take action in favor of Escazu, and so that the authorities really feel the pressure and that there's a public movement behind Escazu that wants to see this agreement brought to life and wants to see its vision of environmental democracy and citizens' rights to live in a healthy environment realized across the region. So with that, I will close. We're at 9:30 exactly. So thank you very much for participating, and please be in touch. And we hope to be working with you all over the coming months to promote Escazu and ensure that it enters into force as soon as possible. Many thanks.